Amy, licensed esthetician, and today I'm going to focus on the forehead area. So I'm using my new vlogging camera. I got a better light. Hopefully the sound will be a little better, but it's all a learning curve for me because my strength is microcurrent and not videotaping, but I think we can get it. So if you were on the live today on TikTok, I was actually massaging my forehead, and during that time you can see the tension release. So before we work on the forehead, let me explain to you how it's structured. So we have a big muscle right here called the frontalis, and it goes from the top of the brow and it goes all the way pretty far back into our scalp. And I know for me, I do a lot of detail work, and this week I was quilting a lot, and I'm on the sewing machine and I'm like this, you know, and I'm making these lines. And I noticed that this one line that I always have here was more pronounced, but I haven't really been doing my microcurrent in that area. I've been focusing on my neck. So I don't want to digress. So we'll go back to the forehead. So we have the one muscle here, the frontalis, that goes from here all the way here. And I know a lot of times that that's where my tension is. We also have a muscle here called the the procerus. So the frontalis, the procerus, the glabella is where your levens come from. And then right along here, it's not on the chart, there's a thing called a corrugator muscle. So when I'm working on somebody and I tell them to frown or look at their face, I can see which muscle has more tension than others. And you usually can feel it if you're doing massage. So I know for me, my corrugators get kind of tight and my frontalis does. So before I do my forehead, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with my Anma. This is the Japanese massage tool, I'll link it below. And I'm basically gonna really mess up my hair and it feels really good because I need to get that fascia release. Otherwise, I'm gonna be fighting against it. And fascia is connective tissue that covers over your muscle. So if you ever go for a massage and you feel great, and then the next day you're tightened up again, you go, I need another massage, that's because the fascia wasn't released. So like right now, this is always my hot spot. I know that I always get a headache here, and when I'm not putting any pressure on this, and even when I'm just going lightly, I feel it like, oh, that kind of hurts, but it feels good. Meaning that the fascia in that area is really tight and I'm releasing it. So I'm really gonna spend time doing my entire scalp before I do my forehead. So you don't have to do it right before. If you know that you have a lot of lines on in this area, you're gonna be doing a lot more work on the scalp area. And of course, also on the actual part of the forehead. And like I said, the lighter I go, the better. I have no pressure on this tool. I love this tool. But you don't have one of these and you have gua sha. Let me get my gua sha. I'm not the biggest fan of gua sha. I'm just used to using my other tool. And gua sha also, it's not something that's heavy and hard. It's something to release it. So it doesn't matter which end, you'll find an end to work with. And I'm just gonna rub it along my scalp. I'm using super light pressure. Once again, it's to release the fascia. And if I get into a spot that all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that hurts a little bit, like right here, it's like a knot, I'll just go a little lightly over it to help release it. They don't always release right away, so you may have to work on it for a few days. I know that when I have clients and they're really holding all of that tension in their forehead, I sometimes will send them home with the gua sha tool and say, listen, before you come back in for your next treatment, a few days before or the morning of, I really want you to mess up your hair and massage that scalp. And the same thing here, we would just do it super light. I like it like this, really light. And when it comes to the forehead and the scalp, you can't overdo it with the fascia release. I tell people, if you're doing it all the time and you're still feeling that ouch spot, you know you got to work it out. But let's say you have neither. You got your hands. So you can do, like I'm always a big fan of my knuckle massages, or even like this into the scalp. Light pressure. And, you know, pretend like you're washing your hair and really get that scalp going. Another thing that you can do is much more targeted. Like I said, I have those corrugator muscles here and they kind of squinch down. So I'm gonna do kind of like a pinch. I don't have anything on my hand, so that's not gonna slide so easily because I'm gonna do microcurrent, so I don't wanna have any oil on my hands. And I'm just pinching, and in small little movements, just pinching and stretching and pinching and stretching just to get this area released. Sometimes I'll go like this, almost like when I do the duck lips, it's the same movement. I'm just pinching it. It helps to release it. If it's hurting too much, don't pinch so hard. But just even with my fingers, just getting that fascia. And it also helps to create some blood flow in the area. I'm not gonna spend too much more time in it. I wanna get into the microcurrent, but you need to really loosen up that scalp area to help reduce those wrinkles, and also on the brow. So a few things we're gonna do a little differently today. Let me see what I got out. Okay, so sorry, I have to get off camera. So I have my mini. I'm going to be using a 4x4 it's called a non-woven 4x4. I'll link them below. You can also have one that's called a 2x2, so it's 4 inches by 4 inches. These are really popular in the aesthetics business. We use them all the time for I'll show you a little quick tip. Sometimes I put this in ice cold water after a really long day, and I wring it out, and then I twist it like this, and I make myself a little eye mask, and I lie down. How does that look on camera? But they're good to have around. A pack will last you quite some time. So right here I have, I think if I keep standing to work, I'm gonna need a table. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this on the top of my mini microcurrent because I'm gonna use water for this one. And I don't wanna keep spraying my face. Maybe you don't wanna get your hair messy with stuff on it. So let's just put the rubber band like that to hold it. A few other things I'm gonna be using today. I'm going to be using my Peptitone. And Peptitone is a neuropeptide. And what its job is to relax the muscle. I always pour my peptides on my fingertips because fingertips don't absorb product that quickly. And I'm patting it on my area because I want to relax this area. So Peptitone is used for wrinkles on the forehead, the glabella, crow's feet, and the lip line. And that's what it's used for. It's used to relax. And that's all I'm going to be using today. I am going to be plugging this into one of these. So I have a little power charger. These are great. This is called a power ad. I think it's backwards on the camera. The Slim 2, I'll link it below. I think they're under $12. You can also charge your cell phone with it, but this way I can sometimes I want to be in front of the TV. I don't have an extension cord long enough. This works perfect. The minis really do well with this particular charger. And the only other thing that I'm gonna have in here is I have a dish of plain tap water. Tap water conducts electricity. Please make sure before your microcurrent that you are well hydrated. Even if you have to drink during the procedure or the process, it's fine. So I'm going to dip which I already did, I'm gonna squeeze some of it out because I don't want it dripping on me. Okay. This movement is super simple. But another thing that you can do before I start, I'll always sometimes take this with the microcurrent and just do small circles. It helps to push the product in. It also helps to release any more muscle as well. So a lot of times if I'm not in the mood to do my microcurrent, I'll just do it just like this. It also helps to push the water into the skin. So okay, we're gonna start in the center just like this. Another double V. So we're gonna put it between my eyebrows and I'm gonna move up slowly and I'm gonna go right at my hairline. I'm gonna hear the double beep. Here goes double beep. I'm gonna move it over, hear the beep. I go straight up. I'm gonna hold it. I'm not digging into the skin. Just a little bit of pressure. I heard my double beep. I move it over and I go up. It's gonna double beep. It should double beep. There it goes. If you don't hear the beep, it means you need more water on your unit. You can also have a spray bottle around of water to wet it. But I find that when I put the cloth on it like this, it really helps. Also make sure both probes are on the skin. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I have my beep and I'm going up to my hairline. Ooh, we have some fire engines. And I'm gonna switch my hand, it's just easier. I'm not pushing or tugging. Double beep. So I basically do the center and then I break this down into 1, 2, 3 areas. So it's basically like the start of my brow, the arch of my brow, the side of my brow. Now I'm going to turn the unit a little different. I'm going to dip it in some more water just so I can have it more saturated. And instead of holding the unit this way, I'm going to turn it sideways. So this way my probes are on a different angle and I'm going to start right in the center. I have my 1 beep and I'm slowly going to move up to my hairline and wait for the double beep. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is that now I can be more concentrated. Got my 1 beep and I'll show you when I'm done in a minute. Hold it. And if you go off the beep, it's just 10 seconds every hold. The beep is there to just make you more mindful of how long it's on you. You can hold it for a little longer if you need to. The unit is always on. Go back. But I tend to always wait for the beep. I tend to work a little too fast. When I'm making the videos or I'm demonstrating, sometimes I'm not focusing, I'm thinking a little too much, and I kind of get off the beep. And so now what I'm doing is, I think I'm almost at like, I'll do one on the side. I'm almost like doing almost 7 little sections because I turn the unit sideways. So let me show you, I have my other unit here. So the first time I did it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's center, 1, 2, 3, center, 1, 2, 3. Now, because I turned it on its side and I'm doing it this way and I'm going up and I'm putting them closer together. Okay, so it's a little different. Then on the third time, and I'm gonna turn it again. So let's do this side again. So now, because I did one side, now I'm gonna do the other. Let me wait for it to reset. Okay. So I go up and I'm doing it. And like I said, I use just water on the gauze. I wait for the beep and then I go up. I hold it at my hairline. Make sure both probes are always on the skin. Go back again. So now it's like a concentrated version of it. Just hold. Double beep. I'm gonna go. And if you have a larger forehead than I do, you may need more of these. I like to call it like rows, like smaller rows. I don't have a big forehead and I don't have a rounded forehead, but I do have this wrinkle. That's called a dynamic wrinkle, just the way I also move. So I've had it since I'm like 35 and it always comes back. I can get it away for a little bit of time, but it's pretty much in there because it's just the way my face moves. So, and that's why a lot of times you'll find me with my hair forward. So now I'm gonna go back and do it like we did it the first time. I'm waiting for the beep. Okay, beep. I could tell you this, if you tweeze your eyebrows in the morning and you go to do this, wherever you just tweezed your eyebrows, sometimes you get tingles a lot. And then again. And microcurrent, this particular unit, you can use it every day because it has an alternating current. You won't tire the muscle, but you still need, I still don't do the same area 2 days in a row. At the beginning, I always tell people do a 10-day challenge and do the protocol that's in the booklet that you get. And then always do the whole face once a week. So I do my whole face once a week, and I tend to do it live on TikTok. So that's my 1 day. And then I go and I focus on the areas that have been bothering me. So like lately, I've been working more on my neck, and I focus on those areas. But I have a lot of microcurrent that's built up in my skin over the years. So when I do slack off and I don't do any microcurrent, when my skin, it's like muscles have memory. So when I do the microcurrent, my skin kind of snaps back. But I do know as I'm getting on in years, I should probably be doing my full face twice a week, and I have to incorporate that in. You have to make the time. But I like many times to break it down into slower 15-minute increments of working, and I mean slow. If you're slow and steady, you'll get a result. If you're too fast, you don't get a result. And that is basically, I'm looking in the mirror, it on for the forehead, because the forehead, the most important thing is the massage and massaging that scalp and getting the tension out. And otherwise you're fighting against the tension. And like I said, today I only used water with the little 4x4. I'll link everything below. Just a few other things. People always ask me about the mini. This is the unit. It has a USB plug. I tend to just plug it usually into my computer, or I use these little standalone power chargers. So this way it's portable. It comes with a little carrying case. It also comes with a conductive gel that has hyaluronic acid serum and I think it has aloe in it. But if you don't have it and you can use water, that's fine. I always use my peptides when I'm doing my microcurrent because I want to really get the biggest bang for my buck. So it always helps to have products that are set up for microcurrent on it. Remember, you can't have anything that's in an oil base, no oils or anything on the skin, because it will not allow the electrical current to go through. Some people say, does it hurt? Do you feel it? It is 1/1,000,000th of an amp of electricity. Now, I did feel it in the area that I had tweezed, but usually you don't. Sometimes I'll feel my eye twitch. It's all safe. The only people that cannot use a microcurrent device if you have a pacemaker or if you're prone to seizures. If you're not sure about a condition that you may have, please check with your physician. But they're great little units. They work. You just have to use them. You just have to be consistent. As I tell everybody, you cannot erase decades of age in 10 minutes or 10 hours. It takes time.